Okay, so there's this source making an absolutely wild claim that a publicly traded company has created a legal, infinite money glitch. It's a product from MicroStrategy, and in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly how this alleged money machine is supposed to work.
Right out the bat, the source hits us with this quote, and it immediately frames the whole thing not just as some stock you can buy, but as a kind of parallel monetary system, one with a very, very different agenda. This really sets the stage for a pretty wild ride.
So, that's the big question, right? What on earth is this thing they're calling an infinite money glitch? The source makes a huge claim, and now we're going to break down their argument for what this product is, how it works, and why it's being called something so dramatic. All right, let's dive right into the heart of the matter. The source uses the ticker STRC to talk about MicroStrategy's new product, and the analysis argues it's so much more than just a typical preferred stock. A one-way capital siphon. Think about what that means. The argument here is that this isn't for day trading or speculating. No, it's presented as a purpose-built machine with one single function: to take US dollars and convert them into Bitcoin forever. And just listen to the language here. It's so potent. The source portrays buying this not as a simple investment, but as taking a side in what it calls spiritual warfare against the entire traditional financial system. That is some incredibly powerful framing.
So how does this so-called fiat extraction engine actually get the job done? To really get a handle on these grand claims, we've got to look under the hood at the actual mechanics of it.
Okay, this part is absolutely key to understanding the whole thing. A normal bond, it's like lending a friend $100. They pay you interest, and eventually they give you your $100 back. This is totally different. It's perpetual. It's more like buying an apple tree. You pay for the tree once, you get the apples forever, but you never get that initial money for the tree back. You're buying the cash flow, not just lending the cash. And here's the cycle in a nutshell. It's so simple it's almost elegant, right? Number one, investor dollars come in. 2, MicroStrategy takes that cash and immediately buys Bitcoin. And 3, a little bit of that is paid back out every month as a dividend. It's just a continuous one-way loop from fiat into Bitcoin. So that begs the question, why would anyone put their money into this machine? Well, according to the source, the answer is just one word: yield.
11%. Yeah, you heard that right. The source highlights this as the current variable dividend rate, paid out monthly in good old US dollars. The analysis gets pretty colorful here, calling it financial opium to yield addicts, basically designed to be completely irresistible in today's market.
And when you see it laid out like this, wow, it really puts things into perspective. The argument from the source is that an 11% yield just completely blows most other fixed income assets out of the water. It's positioned as a giant magnet for what the author calls yield-starved capital, basically anyone just looking for a decent return on their money. You know, the analysis really isn't pulling any punches here. It's not arguing this is just another option for your portfolio. It's arguing that this product makes traditional bonds and CDs pretty much obsolete, especially if you're a retiree or anyone focused on generating income.
But wait, there's more. The high yield is just the headline. The source points out these other really powerful features. The dividends are tax-deferred, which is a huge plus. But here's the real kicker: the yield is adjustable. If demand ever starts to slow down, they can just crank up the yield to attract more money. It's like a built-in control lever to keep the whole machine humming.
Okay, so all of this, it's all building towards the source's final, and honestly, most mind-blowing claim. The argument is that this isn't just a clever stock, it's the blueprint for a shadow central bank.
This is where the idea of a reflexive loop comes into play. It all starts with the backing. See, the whole operation is backed by MicroStrategy's Bitcoin hoard. So as the company uses new investor money to buy more Bitcoin, the collateral behind the dividend just gets bigger and bigger. This makes the product appear safer to the market.
And what happens when Wall Street thinks something is safe? Well, demand skyrockets. More fund managers, retirees, and big institutions want a piece of that safe 11% yield. This lets MicroStrategy issue and sell even more shares, which brings in even more capital. And what do they do with all that new capital? You guessed it. It goes straight into buying more Bitcoin. This makes the company's balance sheet even stronger, which in turn makes that dividend yield appear even safer than it was before. I think you can see where this is going.
And there you have it. The loop completes, only to start all over again, getting stronger each and every time. The source uses this really powerful, kind of grim metaphor of a noose, arguing that every dollar flowing into this product is a dollar being yanked out of the traditional bond market, tightening the loop.
Now, this comparison table, this is really the heart of that shadow central bank argument. The source claims this product mimics a central bank by issuing something that pays a yield and is backed by a reserve asset. But just look at the differences. The backing isn't faith and credit, it's Bitcoin. Issuance isn't unlimited, it's driven by market demand. And the policy isn't decided by a committee, it's basically set in stone.
And that all leads to this final, jaw-dropping quote. This is the endgame presented in the analysis. The claim is that we're watching the birth of a whole new financial infrastructure, operating in plain sight but completely outside the old system's rules. The source calls it sovereign behavior, a company acting like its own country.
So at the end of the day, what we have here is this incredibly radical vision. It frames this product not as a stock, but as a monetary coup. And that leaves us with a really critical question. Is this the start of a financial revolution, one built on a harder asset? Or is it just a highly leveraged perpetual instrument whose entire fate is tied to the wild swings of a single asset, making it one of the absolute riskiest bets in history?